Now, still standing in Tadasana, take the hands to your neck, and I've kind of got my thumbs under my jaw and my fingers under the occipital right here. And I'm gonna kind of lift my head up with my hands, lengthening my own neck. And then keeping the length, let's flex and extend the head. So bringing the chin to the chest and then looking up, keeping a long neck. Moving really gently. And then we're going to make some little circles with the head. So we're still lengthening the neck, but making tiny little circles with your head, going one direction, and then changing directions. Coming back to center, release the arms. Let the arms shake out. Let the left arm, it gets really heavy and it's hanging, and you're going to take your right ear to your right shoulder, left arm hanging, right ear to the right shoulder, reaching up with the right hand over towards your ear, and then just letting the weight of the arm kind of rest on the head, drawing it closer to the shoulder. Left arm hanging long. You could bend your knees. You could shake a little if it feels okay. And then I'm going to let my chin come to my chest. Both arms drop, releasing any tension in the arms. Switching sides, right arm super heavy. Left ear to the left shoulder. We're going to reach up with the left hand to the head, just letting the weight of the arm give a gentle pull. Right arm heavy, a little movement if you like. And then again, bringing the chin to the chest, releasing your head, relaxing arms, shoulders, lifting the head back to neutral. From there, let's take the right arm, reach the right arm up to the sky. Big reach, and I'm going to straighten my legs. I'm going to lengthen as far up towards the ceiling as I can. And then the left hands are going to come right onto my ribs, the front ribs. I'm going to bend my knees, I bent, and I'm going to soften the front ribs down. And then let's bend over, reaching to the left with the right fingertips, and then back to the sky. We're going to do it a couple times. Keeping the ribs soft, reaching, and lift. Let's do 3 more. And then you can release when you come back up, letting the right arm relax. Left arm lifts to the sky. The legs get straight, and I lengthen, stretch my whole side body long. Then my right fingertips come onto my front ribs, and I bend the knees, let the front ribs soften down. Keeping that action, I'm going to tip it over, reaching left fingertips to the right and back to the sky. Couple more, reaching and up. Three more, inhaling up, exhaling, bend. And then we'll release, shake all that out. Letting any tension go. Maybe you need to brush it off the side body if you feel it there. And then step the feet wide and toes point ahead. And then we're going to just roll down slowly, bringing the chin down, rolling vertebrae by vertebrae into kind of an easy forward fold. And then popping up like a little duck in the water, and you pop your head up first, coming up with a flat back all the way up to standing. So we'll do it again. I'll do it from the side. Rolling down, start from the chin, rolling vertebrae by vertebrae. And when you get down, you're gonna pop up your head like a little duck with a flat back coming all the way up to standing. Let's do it 2 more times. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And inhaling up. Now let's reverse it. Take a big inhale, and then with a flat back, exhale to fold. Letting the spine round, roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhaling, exhale to fold, flat back. Inhale, rounding up. Let's do 2 more like that. Exhale to fold. Inhaling up. When you make it to standing, turn the toes to point out. So the toes point out just a little bit, and then come into our yogic squat. And that could be any level of low, right? You may stay high, you may prop under your feet. Take the arms out in front, right out in front of your chest. And they don't have to touch, but we're gonna just go up with the arms, up and down. A couple of these. Now let's release it, and we'll find our way to seated. Moving dynamically here, I'm gonna hug my knees in tight and my feet come off the floor. Whew, we're working hard today. And then we're gonna stretch it out a little bit and bring it back. Stretch it out a little bit and bring it back. It doesn't have to be big, right? You can move a little bit or you can move a lot. It's up to you. Moving with your breath. Let's do 3 more. And then back to seated. Let the legs go out long and shake them off. Maybe even brush off the legs, letting tension go. Maybe your face. You can stick out your tongue, take a big exhale. Now let's catch the right foot with our hands and shake it out, let it go, shake out the foot. Take your left fingers and weave them in between your toes. Hello, toes. And once you get them there, take your right hand to your right knee. And then we're just gonna make some circles. I'm making big circles, loosening up my hip joint. Smoothing out the breath now that we're seated. Change directions. Let's make some circles the other way. And then maybe you bring it up and you just go across the body a couple of times. And then with the fingers still interlaced between the toes, bring the foot down and give it a mash. I've got my hands still on the feet, and then I'm just gonna bring the knee into my armpit and let it go back to the ground. In and out, in and out. Couple more. B doesn't like to be separated. And then let's release it. Release the fingers, release the leg. Maybe you let your legs kind of bounce and shake. Let tension go. We're gonna do the other side. Picking up our left foot and shaking it out. Yeah. Getting the dust off. And then weaving the fingers between the toes, like you're holding hands with your foot. Take your left hand to your left knee. We'll make some nice circles. Smooth breath. Really feeling your leg bone moving in the hip socket. Going the other direction. And then bringing the foot down and giving it a mash. Oh, well. And we'll let the knee come back up and then down and up and down. Hush. And then let's release, and we'll let both legs go out. From here, we're sitting up really straight and tall. We're in our Dandasana, shoulders stacked over the hips. Pit of the abdomen zipping up to the heart. I'm gonna put my hands on the floor, and I'm gonna tip forward just a tiny little bit, right? Tipping forward just a tiny little bit, chest reaching out to my toes. And then let's point and flex the feet. So I'm gonna point my toes and then I'm gonna draw them back towards my heart. Point and flex, point and flex. Keep going. And then release and shake out your feet. Let them wiggle. Now I'm going to bring the arms out to the side. I'm going to take my right foot and I'm going to move it out. And then I'm going to take the left one and I'm going to move it out. And I'm going to bring the right one over to the left. Whew, it's hard. And then right one back over to the right. And then the left one over to the right. And the left one back to the left. And let's cross it again. Right to left, right to right, left to right, and left to left. And then I'm reach my hands forward and reach just forward, not on the floor, but like I could touch my screen. And then release. Bend the knees, bring the feet hips distance, soles of the feet on the floor. With the hands a little back of the hips, fingertips pointing towards my hips if you can. Some people may not, and they have to turn the hands out or they have to turn the hands back. But if you can turn them forward, turn them forward. And then rooting through the feet and the hands. Let's inhale and lift our hips and exhale back to the floor. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, seated. We're going to do it a little bit quicker. If you want to work really hard, don't let your behind touch. Shoot it out between your arms. So let's do it together. Inhaling, lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Going with your own breath. Can always let your hips come to the mat so it's not as hard. We do 3 more. And then resting, hips to the floor. Shake out your arms. Cross the shins, rolling over to hands and knees. Wiggle your tail. Loosening up your back, and then let your hips come back for a child's pose so you can rest. Let your breath deepen, start to fill in the space of the lower back and the kidney area with your breath. Slowly start to find your way into downward facing dog. So kind of wiggle yourself back there. And in your down dog, move around. Let your head wiggle and pedal out the legs, shifting the weight from side to side. Maybe you even twist a little bit, or you lift one leg and the other. You could even open up the leg. Yeah, just doing what feels good. Now, take an inhale and shift forward into the plank position. And then bending the knees, shift back to down dog. Go with bent knees back to down dog. Yeah. And then back through that bent knee position, shift forward to plank. So we're going forward into plank and then back to down dog, both directions with bent knees. So you kind of feel like you're making a more of a line than normal. And we're inhaling forward and we're exhaling back. And if you want, you can go slow, but you could also speed this up and bring some heat into your body. Next time you shift forward into plank, hold it, pause, top of the push-up, and then go slow, knees up or down, all the way to the mat. Bring the palms underneath the forehead, palms down, elbows out, so you can rest your head there, taking some big breaths, focusing the direction of your breath into the space of your lower back. And then bring the hands underneath the elbows. And the elbows kind of out, like you feel like a spider. So your hands are out wide and your elbows are up to the sky. And I'm even going to come onto my fingertips. And then start by looking down at the floor. Take an inhale and just lift into a little baby cobra with these spider arms. And then exhale and lower back down. Inhale, a little baby cobra, and then exhale, lower. Keep going on your own breath. Every inhale, you lift a little bit more, and then exhale, you roll down. Just moving with your own breath, feeling your own body. Let's do 3 more. This is the last one for me. And then I'm going to roll down. I'm going to let the hands come back under the forehead and just take a couple resting breaths. This time I'm directing my breath into the space where my neck meets my shoulders, breathing wide across the tops of the shoulders, filling up the space behind your heart. Eventually letting the hands come back underneath the shoulders, pressing your way back to downward facing dog. Pausing in your down dog so you really have a chance to breathe long. Your palms get big and wide. And like you have nostrils on your palms, inhaling and really sucking up through the center of your hands, up the arms, all the way to the tail. You get long and you feel strong. And then walking the feet forward. Come all the way up to a forward fold. Softness in the knees, belly and thighs coming close together. Head dangling, like really get weighty in the torso. And then if you want to straighten the legs, reaching back through the backs of the knees, but keeping that weightiness in the upper body, letting that, when you straighten the legs, it just forces the pelvis to tip forward more instead of rounding the back. Take an inhale, come up to a straight back, a half forward fold. And then exhale and fold all the way, belly to thighs. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, and then all the way up to standing. From standing, let's step the feet wide, and I'll give you a second to adjust your camera. So we've got feet wide. Toes pointing straight ahead to start. And then I'm gonna let the left toes point out, and I'm setting my feet up for warrior two. So I have a heel to arch alignment in the feet, kind of 90 degrees, right? My one toe's pointing straight ahead, the other toe's perpendicular to that. And then just for today, try scooting your foot out just a little further. Make your stance like 2 inches longer than you normally do. Now I'm going to ask you to do it really weird, so you'll have to kind of bear with me. But let's bend the front knee and bring the legs into our warrior pose. And then then take your left hand and reach underneath your leg and grab your left butt cheek. I know this is graphic. And then hold on to it and stand back up, pulling the outer hip underneath you. Right hand comes to the front of your thigh, and you're gonna push back, right? This is just giving you a guide to help you push that thigh back. So this one's lifting up, kind of pushing the knee open, and this one's pressing back. See if you can sink in a little more, and then a couple of big breaths. Maybe you release it, but you keep the action with the muscles of the legs, and let the arms come up to a regular warrior two, maybe even looking over your fingers. Front of the heart and the ribs soften down the body. Belly lifts up, like the heart and the belly are trying to meet in the middle. Now let's straighten the leg and start to draw the left femur bone tightly, like it's a straw, and you can suck it right up into your pelvis. I have some buoyancy on my knees, my legs aren't locked, and I'm really drawing the femur bone of the left leg into its socket. Arms are still to a T, and then let's just tip forward just a little bit. So I'll make a straight line with my torso and my right leg. So not a real triangle, just this weird line. And then keep the line and turn the hands into triangle hands. So you're like in a weird mini version here. Breathing, softness in the knees, still drawing tightly the femur bone into its socket. Ribs softening down, rotating heart up. And then we're gonna unwind, parallel the feet. Then let the hips, the heels drop in. So the heels come closer, and then like you're holding a big beach ball. Sink low, mash your feet into the floor, big breaths into the belly. And then we'll straighten the legs. Bring the hands to the hips. Let the toes turn in, tipping forward, right? My thigh bones roll in, and then I'm gonna fold all the way, hands come to the floor. You could totally bend the knees, let the torso get heavy, head hanging heavy, big breaths into the back body, big breaths into the space of the kidneys. Grounding into the soles of the feet, lift the chest halfway, coming kind of to a flat back, bringing the hands onto the hips and then standing all the way back up. And then I got some tension in my legs and I want to shake it out. I'm going to wiggle around and I'm going to kind of brush it off and I want to let that tension go. Now, let's do the other side. So I've got big wide stance. This time the right toes turning forward. I'm gonna scooch my warrior two a little longer than I normally do it. And then bending the knee. Now the weird part, right? I'm gonna reach under with my right hand and grab my behind. And then I'm gonna stand back up. So it kind of pulling it underneath me. You feel the leg bone roll out. Left hand to the thigh on the back leg, left leg. Pushing the leg bone straight behind. So you can really bend the front knee, stomp that foot into the floor. And then if you want, arms out, gazing over right fingers. Staying bright in the soles of your feet. Action-packed in the soles of the feet. Straighten the right leg. And then draw the femur bone right tightly into the pelvis, deepening the crease. I've got softness in my knees. I've still got that buoyancy even as I draw the femur bone into the pelvis and then tipping forward just 2 little inches. Feeling a long line from left foot all the way to crown of the head. Then changing the direction. A little baby triangle pose, hovering hands. Soft ribs down, belly and heart meeting in the middle. And then unraveling to standing, letting the feet parallel. And then I'm gonna hop my feet forward, and I'm gonna shake it out. Now, bring your feet close together. Feet close together, my big toes are touching, but I have a little space between my heels. And then just pause and stand. Let the arms drop down alongside. Let the chest broaden and the neck get long. Big breaths. And then setting your focus to balance, right? Setting your gaze maybe on the floor or on a spot on the wall. Shift the weight over to your left foot. Letting the right toes stay on the floor. Bring the right foot against the left ankle, and I'm squeezing them together. Ankle and the sole of the foot, squeezing, squeezing. I feel my right side body contracting up, but I'm gonna let it relax down. Thinking about right side body relaxing down as I try to open up the knee. So two things, relaxing side body down, opening the knee. And then you could do whatever you like with the arms. Breathing, really focusing on letting the right side body drop and the right sits bone come underneath you. And then let's unravel, release the whole pose. Letting tension go. I'm going to brush off this hip where I was working so hard. And then switching to the other side, big toes touching, little space between the heels. Finding my gaze, setting it on the floor or on a point in front of me. And then bringing left foot to the right ankle, squeezing tightly into the midline of the body, hugging, hugging, hugging. And I feel this side wanting to lift up, but I'm gonna let it relax down, relaxing the hip down, relaxing side body down as I peel the knee open, squeezing, squeezing to the midline. And then anything you want with the arms. Breathing, softening down the lines of the neck and the face. Relaxing left hip. Long left side body. Big breath. And then we'll unravel, letting tension go. I'm brushing off this hip, shaking it out. We're gonna do another round of some improvised postures, so a little different than we normally do them. Let's start with our feet hips distance, hands on the hips. And we're gonna go back this way. So you may, if you need to change on your mat, change your camera. I know that's a weird thing that always be changing. But I'm gonna lift the right heel and then I'm gonna slide. Yeah, I'm gonna wait just a second and let everybody get moved. I'm gonna go this way and then go this way. It's brain training. So we're gonna lift up the heel of the right foot, and then I'm gonna keep the toes on the floor as a guide, and I'm gonna slide it back into a big lunge. And then I'm gonna let the right heel come to the floor, and it's kind of turning into the midline. So my back toes are pointing out, just like when we do the warrior one pose. Now, I don't know if you can see me on the video, but my heels are kind of like heel to heel. alignment as if I were standing on a line. My toes are pointing out. I'm gonna bend this knee just a little bit, and then I'm gonna push, push, push this leg straight so that my hip can kind of peel forward. And then I'm gonna straighten the front leg, keeping just a softness in the knee. Lift the pit of the belly, hands are on the hips, and we're gonna just tip forward, and I'm making a long line, you can see, from right heel to the crown of the head, just one straight line. Pausing here, taking the arms out to a T. So your arms are out to a T, your one long line. Keeping the legs and the hips just as they are. Let's twist. Right fingertips pointing toward the right toes, left fingertips pointing towards the sky. Both legs are straight with just a little breath of softness in the knees. Left side body is long, your neck is long, your breath is big. Mashing the edge of the right foot down into the floor. 2 more breaths. And then unravel just the twisting part. Warrior 1, bend the front knee, hands to the sky. Breathing, sinking in, maybe letting your warrior get big and long. Bringing the right ribs forward just a tiny little bit. And then let's step forward. Mountain pose. Shaking it out. Maybe you need to wiggle the feet in a circle if you got a lot of tension in the ankle from doing that. Big in through the nose, big out through the mouth. And then switching to the other side, I have my feet hips distance. Take the left foot, slide it back. Let the left heel drop in. My front knee is bent, and I'm gonna mash my back foot into the floor to kind of pull the hip around. And then I'll straighten the front leg and get long, right? Long from my back foot to my front, to the crown of my head. Take the arms out to a T. Belly is lifting, lifting, lifting. And then we're going to twist. Left fingertips reaching towards the right toes. Right fingertips reaching for the sky. Inhale, get long. Exhale, twist. And then unraveling. Bending the front knee, warrior 1. Big in your warrior 1. And then stepping forward, shaking it out. Again, bringing the feet together. Setting your gaze, so looking at the floor or a point on the wall. Let's stack right knee on top of the left with a little bend. So I have a little bend like a chair pose. Right knee on top. My toes can be touching the floor. They could be hovering. They could be hooked. Leveling the hips. And then let's go with the right arm on the bottom. Elbow to elbow. Hands coming towards. Don't have to grasp each other, doesn't matter. And then pressing the elbows away from your heart and up to the sky letting the hips sink, breathing. And then unraveling, shaking it out, brushing it off. Last standing pose. We're gonna go the other way, starting with the feet together. Starting with the feet together, we'll let the hips shift back, left knee on top. Toes could be on the floor, hovering or hooked, your choice. Leveling the hips. And then the left arm on the bottom, elbow to elbow. We bring the hands towards one another. Then I'm gonna push my arms away and up, letting the hips sink down. Breathing, big breaths into the belly. And then we unravel. Shake it off, brush it off. Finding our way to seated. Let's sit this time with our legs crossed, right shin in front of the left, and then just Sukhasana, easy pose. Wiggle the hips into the floor, sit up really straight and tall, hands to the knees, palms down for grounding. Big breaths. Releasing tension from the base of the skull, from the neck and the shoulders, from the cheeks and the eyes and the jaw. Let's take 10 more breaths here. And then bring your left hand to your right knee. Lean back with a straight spine or a neutral spine, right, with the natural curve in the lower back. And bring your right hand to the floor. So you see I'm leaning back a little bit. Now, from here, take a big inhale and puff up your chest. Big inhale, puff up the chest. And then exhale, don't change your spine, just change your rib cage to move around it for a twist. Maybe looking back at your right fingertips on the floor. Shoulders moving together behind the back, your heart is broad, your neck is long. And then let's unravel from the belly, the chest, and then your head. And we're going to switch, bringing left shin on top of the right. Sukhasana, easy pose, shins crossed. I'm going to wiggle my sits bones to the floor so I can make a really good contact there, and then sit up straight and tall. Right hand to the left knee. I'm going to lean back, left hand to the floor. So I got that nice lumbar curve that I'm going to protect now, right? Big inhale, your heart puffs up, and then exhale, spiraling from the ribs to look at the left fingertips. Long spine, moving from the ribs. Shoulders coming together behind the back. Big open heart. And then unraveling. Let the legs go out long. Just letting them roll from side to side. You could even let them bounce up and down. And then sweep your legs, feet over to the right in this weird position, right? I think in cheerleading they call it a Z sit. I don't know. In yoga we call it Bharadvadrasana. So, but I've got my right knee right here close to my left foot, and everybody will be different on exactly what's comfortable for them. But see if you can wiggle yourself up so you can feel both sides of your behind on the floor. And then again, right hand comes over to the left knee. I'm going to lean back. I'm going to put my hand on the floor. Big inhale, puffing up my heart. And then exhale, twisting rib cage around spine. Looking towards my left fingertips on the floor, shoulders rolling back. Big inhales, you get long. Big exhales, and you revolve. And then we'll unravel, and keeping the legs as they are. When you unravel, you're going to sweep both hands around to the other side and just kind of reach for the floor on the other side. Oh, stretching, reaching, and then release. And the legs go out, and we again shake them out. Now we'll do it on the other side. So we'll take the feet over to the left, finding that kind of knee and foot somewhere close together, then wiggling both sides of your hips down onto the floor. Left hand to the right knee, and then I'm going to bring my right hand, I'm going to lean back and bring my right hand to the floor. I'm going to take a big inhale and puff up, lengthening the spine, lifting my heart, and then I'm going to exhale, twisting ribs around spine, drawing shoulders together behind the back. Maybe looking at my right fingertips on the floor. Breathing, inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. And then unraveling, sending the legs out long one more time. So let's take the feet wide. And I'm not going to go as wide as I can. I'm just going to go to a comfortable width. And then I'm gonna take the time to kind of wiggle the flesh from my behind so I can feel my sits bones on the floor. I've got my toes pointing up, a little action in my feet so my knees are protected. My knees and toes are pointing in the same direction even though we're not standing anymore. Then take the hands and walk your fingertips forward on the floor. And then we're gonna walk our fingertips over to the left leg. I'm gonna plant my left hand down on the floor, and it can be anywhere. It can be close to my foot, but it also could be close to my knee, anywhere along the inside of the body here, along the inside of the left leg. I'm gonna plant my left hand, mash it down, take a big inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, right hand to the sky. And you can stay just like this, or you can sweep the right arm along beside the ear and reach over your left toes. Both hips stay on the floor, both butt cheeks are really heavy. Big breaths, inhale, belly lifts, exhale, heart opens. Tucking the armpit in, tight to the body. And then let's use the right arm and pull ourselves back up. Shake out the shoulders, soft neck, long neck. Same thing, other side, walking fingers forward. I'm just getting my side bodies to be long, and then I'm gonna keep them long, and I'm gonna walk over to the right foot or leg. Planting my right hand on the floor, big inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, opening the chest. Shoulder blades coming together behind the back. You can stay right here, lifting the belly, opening the heart, or you can slide left arm over the ear, reaching for your right toes. Both hips heavy on the floor. Get weighty in the hips, hugging armpit and ribs on the left side body tight. And then we will unravel, pulling up through the left hand, come to seated. I'm gonna scoop up my knees. Send the legs out long together. Action in the feet. Wiggling the sits bones right onto the floor. Take a big inhale and reach up towards where the ceiling and the wall meet, lengthening your spine, and then fold, letting the body come over the legs, letting the arms drop, letting the head release, breathing into the space of your back body. Every inhale, directing it to the kidneys, to the lower back, to the ribs. And then using the hands, wiggle your way back up to seated. And then just take the hands overhead, right? And they could be any amount of overhead. They don't have to go straight up. Draw the arm bones so you can see I'm reaching up, and now I'm gonna draw my arm bones in. I'm squeezing them into my body, and I'm just gonna pause. Sitting up tall, action in the legs, action in the arms. And release. Let's let the knees bend. And wiggle for a boat pose. Wiggle onto the sits bones. And we're going to do our boat pose with a twist today. So I'm going to lift the knees and lift the feet. And I'm going to scoop my right arm right underneath, right? So my right arm is holding behind my knees. And then I'm going to take a big inhale, sit up tall, and then exhale, reach the left hand behind me, reaching, breathing, shoulders down, feet active. And let's unravel, scooping up the legs with the left arm, taking the right hand and reaching the right hand back behind for a twist. Big breath. Action in the feet, lifting the heart, and release. Let's come on to our backs now. So maybe adjusting your camera if you need to. We're not coming back up. When you come to your back, hug your knees into your chest. Give your knees a big squeeze. Maybe even rock a little bit from left to right, kind of massaging your back on the ground. And then bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet under the knees. So the soles of the feet are on the floor. We're setting up for bridge pose. Bring the arms alongside your body, or bring your arms underneath you, right? You could even bring the arms underneath. Let's lift the hips just part of the way. Just lift the hips barely off the floor. And if you want to wiggle the arms under now and bind, feel free, or you can leave your arms straight alongside, palms pressing down. Take a moment here. Feel the internal rotation of your leg bones. Lift up your belly really strong. Pick the pit of the abdomen up, hugging knees towards one another. Yeah. And then think about tailbone reaching towards the knees. Keep that action as you stomp the feet into the floor and lift the hips. Mashing feet into the floor moves your heart towards your chin. Let your chin reach up towards the sky. Big full breaths into the space of the belly. Tailbone reaching towards the knees. Knees rooting into the floor. Hugging thigh bones parallel to one another, right? They're just straight. Inhale, exhale. One more breath. And then slowly releasing, coming down vertebrae by vertebrae, pausing. We're going to do it one more time. So don't move too much. Don't change too much. Just like take a few big breaths. And then that little lift of the hips just to refine the pelvis. So you lift the hips off the floor. You internally rotate the leg bones and then reach your tailbone towards the knees, drawing the pit of the abdomen up. Stomping your feet into the floor, lift the hips and press them towards your chin. Chin reaches up to the sky to maintain the curve in the back of the neck. Big full breaths, really action-packed in the feet. Leg bones parallel to make lots of space in the sacrum, right? No chance of pinching. One more inhale, lifting. And then releasing. Let the feet wiggle out wide, wider than the edges of the mat, and let the knees drop together. A little internal rotation there of the leg bones, releasing any compression in the lower back. Breathe into the space of the belly. And then wiggling the feet back in. Hugging the knees one more time into your heart. Tight squeeze. Letting the forehead curl up to meet the knees. Like really hugging in here, pressing the arms, wrapping them tightly around the legs, and then pushing the legs back out into the arms. Relax the shoulders and the head back onto the mat. And then take two fists between the thighs, between the knees, and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the legs together till the legs are shaking like you think you could squeeze your hands into one, two hands into one, squeezing. And relax. Take the hands to the outside of the knees, one hand on the outside of each knee, and then push your knees out into your hands and push your hands into your knees. Push and squeeze and push. And then relax. Let the soles of the feet come back onto the floor, knees bent for just a minute. Pressing into the feet, kind of like you're rocking, right? Remember when we did this in studio? Not rocking left to right, but rocking up and down the length of your spine. Yeah, a little rocking, like I'm keeping it here, but I'm just going like this. It's kind of weird. And then you can let it settle. Finding your way into Shavasana, your version, and there's lots of options, right? You could just lay flat, you could bolster under the knees, you could go legs up the wall if you have the opportunity in your space. So bundle up, get all your props, find the perfect position for you. As you're getting into your Shavasana, since we're all kind of, getting into
Did we lose Courtney?
You just hopped on.
What?
Yeah, I don't know where Courtney is.
Yeah, she disappeared.
Froze for a little while, like mid-sentence, and then it
Yeah,
left.
yeah, exactly.
So I think she might have got booted off. Yeah, booted off and kicked out.
She like
Huh.
I'm surprised we still have internet after this
Right.
storm.
I think she's back. It says
Oh,
Louisiana.
yeah. Now she's back.
Is that?
Yeah, there's her down here. I think she's joining.
Oh, there she is.
Ooh.
Hey, Courtney.
She's muted.
Wait, you're muted.
Yeah, I had to go up to the top of mine and unmute mine because for some
I
reason.
guess my internet went out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That was terrible.
Oh,
Um,
At least it wasn't in the middle of Vinyasa.
well, that would have been fine. You would have been laying there.
You would have never known.
Okay. So let's find our way back into our
Yes.
Shavasana.
Can't see you.
You can't see me?
No.
I can see you.
Sorry. I can hear you.
Okay. So we'll find our best position, your best position, whatever position you are getting in. And then, especially now that we've had that little episode, take the moment to squeeze the muscles of the legs, squeeze the muscles of the arms, squeeze the muscles of your face, just hugging in and then releasing tension and letting the body relax. And do it a couple of times, like squeeze,
There you are.
and release. And squeeze and release. And when you feel your body soften, just let go. Let the effort go. Take a few big breaths into your relaxed body. And then even let your breath go. Just let it all go. Heaviness on the floor. You're just melting into a puddle. Letting the eyes close and the forehead get smooth. Unhinging the jaw, softening your throat. Letting the eyes be closed. Heavy eyeballs underneath your eyelids. Maybe even putting something over your face if you want, if that helps. Letting yourself rest. Slowly start to bring your awareness back into your body. Just letting yourself feel your body on the floor. Feeling your breath move under your skin. Listening to what your body is craving. Start as you start to wake up. Maybe that's curling up, and hanging out for just a few more moments. But maybe that's moving a little bit, wiggling the toes and the hands, or stretching out long. Doing the things that you need. As you start to wake yourself up, eventually we're going to make our way to seated, but it's not a rush. You're taking your time. You're making a point to honor yourself and pay attention to yourself as you are coming back to the group. Just finding a comfortable seat as you're ready. No rush. Finding a comfortable seat, taking the time to kind of get comfortable in your body. Sukham and stiram, right? Finding that effort, the brightness, and then finding the ease, the softness. Once you've balanced your posture, turn back to the breath, and we're going to use our hand for a little nadi shodhana. We're going to just do some alternate nostril breathing for 1 minute before we close our class today. So we're going to use, it doesn't matter which hand you use, whichever is your dominant hand. And we're going to use the thumb and the peace fingers, right? The thumb on one nostril, the peace fingers on the other. Let them both be open for now. Take an inhale through both nostrils. Take an exhale out of both nostrils. Now let's block the right nostril. Take an inhale through the left. Block the left one and open the right. Exhale out of the right. Inhale through the right. Blocking the right, open the left. Exhale out of the left. Inhale in through the left. Exhale out through the right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Do a few more cycles on your own. After your next exhale through the left nostril, release the hand and just breathe normally through both nostrils. A couple of rounds of breath, really focused breath. And then letting all the effort of the breath go. Your breath becomes normal, moving the hands together at the heart. Palms touching at the heart center, letting the gaze drop down towards the fingertips. Just a moment of gratitude. Let all the things that pop into your mind come right up to the front. Things that you're grateful for. The people, nature, whatever things pop into your mind. And then bringing your palms to your own heart, a little gratitude towards yourself, self-love. And then I'm bowing to you, a little gratitude for you showing up. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry about the disconnection. That's never happened to me before.
That's great. Thank
It
you.
was a real weird. So for the people that are in coming back for the afternoon session, on our training page, there's the functional anatomy flashcards. So your lunch assignment is to finish any flashcards that you haven't done for poses that we already went over, and to go through that set of functional anatomy flashcards and start getting familiar with the terms. And then I'll see you back here at 10:30. Like 1:30 your time. Okay. You can convert it, huh, Anita?
If I'm not there, text me.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye guys, see you later.
See you in a bit.
Anybody know where Jackie is? Is she okay? Uh-huh. Hopefully she's just got something else going on today.
Thanks, Courtney.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So, Courtney,
Yes.
can you see me?
Yes.
What's happening with the flashcards?
Oh, well, a lot of the people that you see in our class today, they're doing yoga teacher training. So they're learning to teach. And so we have been studying this weekend all the different yoga poses, and they're making some flashcards to help them practice.
Fabulous. Okay. See
So,
ya.
see ya.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You too.
Oh, I can't hear you, Caitlin. Now tell me.
1:30?
1:30.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Good to see you, Rhonda. You had an electricity problem? Oh, wait, let me unmute you.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
So I might be going somewhere else because we're supposed to have some really bad weather come through here about 1:30. So,
Oh, uh-huh. I know. Mama said that it is really bad weather. Y'all been having a lot of bad weather.
oh my God. Well, it missed me last week, but I mean, I got a little of the rain and stuff, but it hit just south of here and it tore everything up. But yeah, I got pictures of that tornado in Monroe. One of my friends, I was eating dinner at.
Oh, I think Mama sent me that.
Yeah, he was actually there in Monroe and doing something. He brought it to the house at lunch and showed it to us. I said,
So weird.
"Hey man, I think I would have been running if it was that close."
I know, that's what I said when she sent me that picture. I was like, what are those people standing there for?
See that crazy stuff? And did you see that the other one? It was really interesting. It was a trailer park right in front of it. Did you notice that? I think I would be running.
How are we getting out of there?
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna check the weather because I might try to pack my desktop up and take it to my friend's house.
Oh, uh-huh.
Because it gets really bad here. And,
Yeah.
And that stuff that tore up the trace about 3 weeks ago and messed my house all up. I was like, you know, that was pretty intense. My house was moving while I was in the tub.
Oh my God.
It was crazy.
That is off. That's scary, Rhonda.
I know, it's like my house has been through so much wind, it's like I don't know how much more it can take. See you later on though.
Okay, well, I hope you figure it out.
I will. All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.